The smell of copal drifts up from clay vessels at the temple steps. It has been rising since before the birds. In the inner chamber, a woman holds her forearms still. An attendant is dragging cold red pigment down her skin in a straight line. The paint is called cinnabar. She has done this before. This is a Maya queen on October 28, 709 AD, on the Usumacinta River. By the time the sun is high, she'll have drawn a thorn-studded rope through her own tongue. The king of Yaxchilan will have his authorization to march on Banam Pak. She's not a consort. She's a co-executive of the state. Today, we decode the real one. The city stands on a meander bend of the Usumacinta River, deep in the rainforest of what is now southern Mexico. Its name is Yaxchilan. In the year 709 of the modern calendar, it is one of the great Maya cities of the late Classic period. It is at the height of its political and artistic flowering under the king Itzamnaj Ba'alam II. To the south, in the same rainforest, stands a smaller allied city called Bonampak. This week, the king will march on it. Above the river, on a limestone terrace, stands a palace temple complex known to modern archaeologists as Structure 23. From the terrace, the river below is a constant sound. She commissioned this building herself. Her name is cut into its lintels, and it will still be standing 13 centuries from now. The exact date of the morning we are watching is not a guess. It is carved in glyphs on the second lintel of that building. The Maya long count reads 9, 13, 17, 15, 12. Then the day name 5, Eb, and the month name 15, Mak. Modern scholars, using a correlation constant of 584,283 days, translate that to the 28th of October, 709 AD. We know the day. We know the hour. Inside that building, on the morning of a day, we can date to the hour. A woman is being painted red. The ritual she is being prepared for will start a war. The chamber is small and dark. The fire in the clay hearth has burned to embers. Copal smoke drifts in from outside. She has not eaten since sunset. The cinnabar on her forearms and across her sternum is dry now. It has set to a matte rust, the color of old blood. Where the pigment touches the flesh, at the crook of her elbow, it has cracked into a fine web. Beneath the cracks, the skin holds a stain. It will still be visible a week from now. 2 attendants stand behind her. Only their hands are visible in the oil lamp light. Hands that have done this before. One pair lifts a folded hoopil from a wooden chest and shakes it out. The cloth is heavy and finely woven. The geometric pattern along its lower band is a specific one. It belongs to her house. It has been recorded on stone. We still know what it looked like. The hoopil is lowered over her head. Older hands adjust it at the shoulder. Older hands smooth it at the hip. These hands belong to a woman who has served her through 3 prior bloodlettings. She is the one who will hold the bowl when the time comes. A second pair of hands brings the jade. 3 carved plaques strung on cotton cord. The cord is lifted over her head and lowered. The plaques settle against the cinnabar on her sternum. They are cold. They stay cold longer than metal would. Slowly, they take the warmth of her skin. She holds her arm still. The attendants know the sequence. By the time she leaves the inner chamber, the king will already be waiting at the temple steps, and so will the 20 witnesses, and the rope has already been prepared. Somewhere in the valley below, a conch shell trumpet sounds, then a second closer, then the low, slow pulse of a slit drum. The sound carries across the river and back off the trees on the far bank. It is deep and it is slow, and it is a rhythm older than any city on earth still standing. On the plaza between the temples, the household forms up under the risen sun. She walks at the front. Her sandals are quiet on the limestone. Her attendants carry the ritual objects a few paces behind her: a bowl of prepared thorns, folded strips of bark paper, a small ceramic vessel for the burning. Under the jade pectoral, the cinnabar on her sternum has darkened where sweat has touched it. Behind the attendants walks the king. He is her husband. He is also her cousin. His regalia is heavier than hers, feathered and jeweled, and in this hour it is silent. He does not speak. He does not need to. In this room, on this morning, his authority is contingent on hers. They pass under the carved stone of the doorframe and into the inner sanctum. Oil lamps burn in niches along the walls. The witnesses are already positioned. There are roughly 20 of them, ranged around the room, and every one of them will remember what they see today. She kneels on a woven mat. Her attendants set the ritual objects at her knee. Her name was Lady Copal, and what she is about to do is state ritual, codified in stone. The reason we can name her at all is that she made sure of it. The rope is in the bowl, the paper is folded, the king is watching, and in a moment, she is going to reach for the thorns. Still with me? Good. What you're about to watch isn't a private religious act. It's the constitutional mechanism by which a Maya war got authorized. If you're the kind of viewer who wants the receipts, subscribe to Decoded by Jack. There's a reason your history textbook doesn't mention the woman at the center of this. In a few minutes, I'll give her back to you. Stay with me. The rope is in the bowl at her knee. The thorns are bound along its length. The vine that carries them has been stripped and soaked so it will bend and not break. The senior attendant lifts the rope with the care of a woman who has held it before. The hole in her tongue was pierced years ago. It has closed and been reopened many times. The rope is passed through it now, slowly, and the attendant on the other side of her chin takes the other end. She kneels straight. Her hands rest on her thighs. The smell in the room is copal. She draws the rope through. The pull is her own. The attendants hold the end steady, but the tension comes from her. Blood collects on the folded bark paper held below her chin. It falls in slow drops onto the cinnabar on her forearm and mixes there, brighter red on the older rust. The paper darkens. The rope is drawn again and again. When the paper has taken as much blood as it needs, it is placed in a shallow ceramic vessel at her knee. The paper is burned. Copal is added to the flame. The smell that rises is the smell of burning bark and burning blood, layered with resin. It is a smell no one alive today has encountered. The smoke thickens. It climbs toward the vault of the sanctum. The king, standing behind her, watches the smoke. Under Maya constitutional norms, this is the moment. The court understands that the ancestor Kinich Tatbu Skull One is present in the rising smoke. He has looked at the king. The campaign against Bonampak has been authorized. The scribe standing at the far wall is already noting the outcome. The rope is set aside. The paper is ash. The king has his vision, and she has not yet spoken a single word. The chamber is quiet again. The oil lamps have burned lower. She sits on the woven mat, and the senior attendant holds a shallow cup of warm water to her lips. She drinks slowly. The taste of blood on her lower lip and inside her cheek is coppery and slightly salty. The water thins it but does not wash it away. That taste will still be there when she falls asleep tonight. A second cup is brought. This one is cacao, ground and mixed with water and a little honeyed maize. The cacao coats her tongue over the blood, and for a moment the flavor is a layered one, bitter over metal, sweet over salt. Attendants work carefully at her arms. They lift the cinnabar with a cloth soaked in warm water. Most of it comes away in dark rust streaks. Some of it has soaked into the skin and will stay there for days. In an outer room, a scribe is drafting a glyph block. The block will name her. It will name the day. It will name the ritual. In stone, on a lintel above the door of this same building, it will still be there 13 centuries from now. She sleeps before the sun sets. Within the week, the king will march on Bonaparte. The war will proceed under the authorization she gave him at midday. That is the day. Now let me show you why almost everything popular culture believes about Maya sacrifice, Maya women, and Maya time is wrong. Starting with what she just did. Decoded number 1. The blood was hers, not a captive's. Here's what you probably picture when someone says Maya sacrifice. A prisoner on a pyramid step, a stone knife, a heart lifted at the top of the world. That's not what happened in Yaxchilan today. The image you were sold is mostly Aztec, and mostly from 1,000 years later than the woman we just watched. When 19th century writers reached for a picture of Maya blood, they pulled from Aztec sources and pinned it to the wrong civilization. Here's what the evidence actually shows. In classic Maya practice, the most frequent and constitutionally central form of ritual bloodletting was auto-sacrifice. The ruler pierced their own tongue, their own earlobes, their own genitals. The instrument was the sovereign's own body, and the offering was the sovereign's own blood. The blood was hers, not a captive's. That's not a footnote. It's the whole point. Decoded number 2. We know this happened on a Tuesday. Here's what most people believe about ancient chronology outside of Egypt or Rome. You get centuries, maybe decades if you're lucky, a rough era, a blurry range. For the Maya, that's wrong. We know the date of what she just did to the day. The Maya long count is a base 20 positional calendar. It can locate any date in a cycle of millions of days. On lintel 24, this ritual is dated 9, 13, 17, 15, 12. Then the day name 5 Eb and the month name 15 Mach. There's a correlation constant, 584,283 days. That converts the glyph to the 28th of October, 709 AD, a Tuesday. That's not reconstruction. It's direct reading of a glyph, cross-checked with astronomy. The long count is one of the great intellectual achievements of the ancient world. It's mathematics, not prophecy. And it's the reason we can name the day. Decoded number 3. The queen signed off on the war. Here's the version of Maya queens you were probably given. Royal wives, consorts, breeders of heirs, ornamental figures in the background of the men who ran the state. That's the version, and the version is wrong. Lady Copal appears on 3 carved lintels of structure 23. Each one shows her performing state ritual, not decoration, not dynastic flattery. Official record cut into stone by her own commission. She wasn't alone. Lady Six Sky ran the campaigns at Naranjo. Lady Yaxchilan Lintel held authority at Dos Pilas. Lady Kimbell governed El Peruwaka as a full sovereign. Maya queens were co-executives of the state, operating under Maya constitutional norms. That's the receipt. And the receipt sits behind glass right now in the British Museum in London. Object number AM, 1923, Maud 1, cream limestone, deeply carved. Visitors walk past it every day. Most of them do not stop. Most of them do not know they are looking at the signature of a queen who authorized a war. The chamber grows dark. the oil lamps burned down to their last measure. She sleeps facing the wall. The cinnabar on her wrist stains the woven mat of faint rust where the skin has pressed against it. 13 centuries from now, her name will survive in glyphs no one alive can pronounce with full certainty. The war she authorized this morning will be won. The city she commissioned this building for will collapse into the rainforest. It will be forgotten for 900 years. The lintel that recorded what she did will end up behind glass in a museum in London. Visitors will walk past it every day. Most will glance. Most will keep walking. Most will not know they are looking at the signature of a queen who signed off on a war with her own tongue. On the stone, her carved figure kneels with the rope of thorns held to her mouth. Where the pigment once colored her body, faint traces still remain in the crevices of the stone. The cinnabar that recorded her 13 centuries ago has not entirely faded. That is the memory she made.